Hi and welcome to my second vlog. I'm speaking to you today on the most beautiful day in early spring. It's a real pleasure to be out. I say my second vlog. It was supposed to be a little bit later on last year after my first one. Unfortunately, everybody's been so busy, including myself, and it didn't come out. So what we're going to do this time around is look at the last probably 10 months of my life and see how mad that has been. And I've literally been all over the place doing a whole host of different things. And probably the best place to start is where the last one ended, down at Luggage, down in Kent. And the last fish I caught there was a gnarly old common, and it was time for me to move on. I've got a whole host of commitments all over the place, and once I finished at Luggage and all the time I was there, I was thinking where next to go. Now, before I made those decisions, probably one of the biggest events of last year was Eric's Angling opening the shop at Farlos fishery. It's not a place that I go to a great deal, although it is relatively near to my home, and it is an incredible water. The highlight for me of the weekend was to spend a little bit of time with probably one of my best friends, Dave Lane. Laney's had a couple of mid-20 commons just over to my left, and hopefully I can get a bit of that action later on. But
and he tried to poach my swim, but I wouldn't let him.
It's a word from the man, and yes, I was trying to poach his swim. He should get his hands out of the picture.
Oh, shut up! You wanted the pictures, you got.
So yes, it's a great start to proceedings. And right next door to me was Scott Maslin. Evidently he's in some kind of soap opera, but as I don't watch him, I'm not quite sure, but I'm guessing a few of you will know him. He's fantastic company. It was a great weekend, and I even caught myself a couple of carp. Yeah, it couldn't have set me off any better. And I stuck with Farlos for a little while. Much of what I do, I don't write a diary anymore in the magazines, but I still have an awful lot of commitments. So the next thing to do, I was doing some stuff for Fox actually. We went back down to Farlos just to sneak around the lake and see if I could catch some carp in some different circumstances. As it happened, the day turned into a very, very warm one, and eventually I snuck out a really long and incredibly hard fighting 25-pound common. Absolutely fantastic. And unfortunately, or fortunately, whichever way you look at it, I couldn't get into my own fishing straight away. It was simply doing the stuff for the magazines. However, eventually I came down to my little syndicate lake down in Essex. The fish had spawned, the weather was absolutely fantastic. And I couldn't have asked for better actually. And as the fish had spawned, I don't like to fish for them straight away. I like to leave them for 2 or 3 weeks, let them get their energy back, let them get back into their normal way of life. However, once that period is over, there's only one thing in my mind, is that those carp are hungry, and that is what I set out to do on the Syndicate Lake. It's an incredibly weedy place, and whilst I cannot physically use every item of tackle that Fox ever produced, Harry Charrington mentioned to me some 23-pound trans khaki Exocet line. And whilst all the line I've used over the past 15 years has been exceptional, this is probably one of the best. And as I say, the Syndicate Lake is so weedy, I didn't want to leave anything to chance. Yes, we like to fish with a little bit of finesse, you know, and secrete things away. This line sinks like a brick, it's trans khaki and completely disappears, but it has the strength to allow me to get those fish back through practically any obstacle. It's a little like the middle of October here at the moment, but conditions are perfect for the carp, I should think. Probably one of their main things at this time of year is to get over the rigours of spawning. Goodness knows what this weighed a couple of weeks ago. Before they spawned, it weighs 33 pounds and 14 ounces now. An absolutely cracker, hell of a battle in the weed. The run stopped quite quickly actually. I got to the rod, it had stopped moving completely, but I kept the steady pressure on, got it moving, and in between weed beds it fought like an absolute lunatic. It was probably a good 20 minutes before I got it into the landing net. An absolutely fantastic fish, and again, this is the springboard I needed just to get my fishing back on the road. I'm doing the things that I want to do. Absolutely fantastic. I was obviously keen to get back, and the following Monday I opened the gate just as the light was filling the sky. There wasn't a cloud in sight, and it really was the perfect day for a bit of surface fishing. I chased them around all over the place. I even managed to get the odd fish feeding. However, an absolute plethora of seagulls ruined it for me. Every time I got them feeding, they'd come in and spook them off. And sooner rather than later, to be honest, I decided it was time to fish on the bottom. Again in the holes in the weed, again plenty of bait. Only this time I'd invited probably every bream in the lake to the party. It was so frustrating. Go away and I hope I never see you. Eventually they sort of left me alone and I managed to hook a carp. Unfortunately, it came adrift in the weed, and yeah, I held my head in my hands for about 5 minutes wondering what the hell I'd done wrong. I am angry and feel a little bit like the ferryman going across the River Styx. I didn't deserve that. Just don't believe it. That is so sad. Thankfully, the following day was my birthday, and so my luck changed. It was an incredible day. The first fish, double-fingered ghosty, you know, an incredible battle as those little chaps give you. And a little while later, I had a 35-10 mirror. But what an absolutely plonking great big carp, and I can't think of a better way to celebrate my birthday. I'm so excited. It's been a struggle. Last week when I had that 33, the wind, the rain, everything was against me, and this week the weed and the pollen that's drifting around all over the lake has been an absolute nightmare. But there are prizes for perseverance in this game. I kept the bait going in and kept it in the spot, and this was my reward, and I cannot even begin to tell you how happy I am about that. Happy birthday, Chilcott, 56 years old and still a child at heart. The following day after my birthday, things continued on the same vein. I don't come here expecting to catch hundreds and hundreds of fish, but I expect to catch the odd special one, and the following day at 31.9 I caught a fish called the prehistoric, and it's called the prehistoric because I think it looks like a coelacanth, and it's probably nearly as old as some dinosaurs. Yeah, an incredible fish. I had to go out in a boat to get that fish, and that's the perfect scenario when you've got boats available. You can go out and not cause the fish too much stress by dragging them through everything. However, because I was going out in a boat, I thought it would be a really good opportunity, certainly for my vlog, just to explain a little bit about the safety when you're using a boat, but unfortunately it didn't go quite according to plan. Well, I was just about to tell you to always wear a life jacket when you're in the boat. I was just stuck out in the water, and it's inflated itself. Oh, dear. If you're going to go out in a boat and do anything on a lake, make sure you've got a life jacket. There ain't a carp on the planet that's worth dying for, that's for sure. And the boat is only here because the water is so weedy, and it is incredibly weedy. The last thing I want to do is hook a fish and drag it through the weed. You can do more damage than you'll ever know by doing that. If I can't keep it moving, if it does get locked up in the weed for any length of time, then I can get out in the boat, get above it with my life jacket on, of course, and hopefully get it into the net. And we're doing the minimum damage to the fish. They should always be foremost in our minds. Of course, after those kind of results, I was keen to get back. It wasn't a water I was going to stay on for the summer, but I did come back for another session. And again, I caught a few fish, not loads and loads, but one of the fish that just reminds me of how different carp can be. You know, I'd caught scaly ones, leathery ones and all the rest. This was just a very round and rotund carp of 29 pounds, but it was the colour of it. It was blacker than the covers of my bite alarms and really made a good end to a few summer sessions on the lake. With what I do, I had other commitments in the fishing world. There's magazine stuff to do. We were filming Carp Wars, of course, and all that was going on at the same time. Now, the highlight probably for me of all that filming and magazine work was a trip to Romania at the beginning of October. And we had 4 days there to put something together for the next Edges DVD. It was probably one of those sessions where we visited every single emotion. It started off, they've got islands on this lake that move around, so we had to be a little bit careful of that. And I caught a couple of small ones quite quickly. However, it started to rain. And it rained for 2 days solid. It did not stop. Everything we had was soaking. It was absolutely awful. And as we left, actually, one of the Romanian lads told us that it had never, ever in all of his life rained for more than 6 hours in that area. You know, how's your luck? Anyway, towards the end of our trip, things did get better. And ultimately, I had the most stunning comment that rounded things off absolutely perfectly. It's a wonderful country full of wonderful carp and just as importantly wonderful people, and hopefully I'll go back one day. However, once I was back from there, I was thinking about winter, my favourite time of year, simply because the challenge is so much greater. And so to winter. I have to tell you at the start of this, probably because I'm an army man, I break things down into definitive periods. Winter for me doesn't start until the beginning of December, and it ends at the end of February. So the whole of November was my recce back on the Syndicate Lake again for the rest of the winter. No one could have guessed how bad it was going to be. Beginning of November, the first bite I got was a fish that hadn't been out for over 2.5 years. A beautiful long scaly 23-pound mirror, and it was an absolute beauty. It doesn't matter about size when it comes to fish like that. It was stunning. I knew it wasn't going to be easy. I knew I wasn't going to be stacking up loads of fish, but a bite every time I came here for those 2 nights more than made up for it. The following week, I came back, I fished the same swims, but a different spot produced a 33-pound, 10-ounce mirror. And I have to tell you, it's one of the most mad fights I've ever had with a fish. It just didn't want to give up. But again, big smile on the face and making, you know, the thought of the winter to come, you know, a really exciting time. The following week, there were 2 fish I nominated as my targets on here. One was called Free Scale and the other was called Shy. I'd moved to the other side of the lake where I did see a fish, and as I say, I react to everything I see. I went right over to the other side, over a fair bit of bait as well. I probably put maybe 3 kilos of 10 and 15 mil boilies out, and I got a bite on the second morning, and it was Shy. Okay, I've got to stop swearing there, or Harry will tell me off. The winter recce continues absolutely perfect. A couple of weeks ago, I had a 23-pounder. Last week, I had a 33-10. It couldn't have gone better. Bait, tackle and tactics working perfectly. It's not the easiest lake. But I upped the ante a little bit about 45 minutes ago, and I landed this absolute beast of 41 pound and 10 ounces. It's a fish called Shy, and she wasn't too shy this morning. One of the greatest things about this capture is I'm testing out our new hooks that we've developed, not worrying about the gauge of the hook, just making the strongest hooks we can. This was the SR beaked point on my stiff link pop-ups, and things couldn't have worked any better than that. What an incredible animal. I'm definitely getting old because my arms are aching already. But yeah, take a look at that. The following week now, we're coming to the end of November. I had another bite, which was a 19 pound common. That was quite a spectacular fish in itself. You know, it's not a big fish in the scheme of things, but I was happy. We're at the 28th of November now, and I cannot even begin to describe how bad the winter was. A lot of you will already know how bad it was, but I didn't see another fish. I didn't get another bleep until the beginning of March. It was so difficult. I wasn't putting lots of bait in, but I was baiting up the odd little spots here, there and everywhere. I never saw anything to act on. That's the problem. And if I don't know where they are, you know, it's very, very difficult to catch them. But I kept on going. I missed a couple of weeks over Christmas, but I was doing 2 nights a week, most weeks down here. Nothing. It was absolutely soul destroying. And then, as I say, my winter ends at the end of February, and it was right at the beginning of March. I'd put some bait out. I'd cut it down by now. I was probably a kilo of 10 and 14 mil hybrid out there, and I got a bite. It was unbelievable. Nobody was more shocked than me. I didn't know quite what to do to begin with. And it was a 38 pound 10 ounce mirror that fought like an absolute lunatic. I was so chuffed. I don't even know you know, the words to tell you how pleased I was after the harshest winter I'd ever known. Light my fire! The lake unfortunately closed down a little bit after that, but I kept on baiting 2 or 3 spots, not with lots of bait, but just something that was there to keep them occupied. And it was 2 weeks later that I actually managed another fish, and this was 38 plus 2. An incredible fish, and a very, very old fish, one of the original stockings from the lake, and it's those big old fish that I love to catch. We got the photos done of it, you know, another 38 pounder. It's sort of, spring was in the air for sure, although it was still absolutely freezing. And the following morning, I got another bite, and it was really a case of, you know, take out the old, bring in the new. And it was one of the stockfish that was put in, you know, a few months back. It went in here at just a little bit over 17 pound, and I had it at 18 pound 3 ounces. So he'd taken to his new environment. He looked absolutely spectacular, and that brings us right up to date. Interestingly, this is my last session on this water. That's my winter done. And I've got myself a couple of tickets for other waters. One's up in Middle England near Northampton. It's an estate lake, a completely and utterly different environment to the gravel pits I normally fish. So I'm looking forward to the challenge there. The other one is a lake that isn't far from here actually. It's a farmer's reservoir and should offer, again, several unique challenges to the way that we fish. I don't want to fish in the same way and on the same waters all the time, or for the same fish. You know, I can think of nothing more boring. I like to change things up a little bit. So that's what I'm going to be doing over the next few months. It should be exciting. I know it's going to be fun, and anything I catch, we'll get it on film and we'll be able to show you next time around. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.